When you've been through a cancer journey with your child, we want nothing, and I mean nothing, just to be a normal family and leave the world of worry, the world of fear, and the world of the unknown, and lastly, the world of cancer behind us. But the unfortunate truth of the matter is that cancer never leaves completely, and it seems to always have a way of reminding us of the trauma of the past and the unknown of the future. As unfortunately, this week, we received some pretty scary news, which was very unexpected. So if you haven't already, click the subscribe button to continue to follow our journey. As usual, the morning started with work and another lovely training walk in preparation for our up-and-coming charity event. And I was joined with some company of this beautiful stag, who also had company of a single lone magpie, and as the saying goes, one for sorrow. And little did we know that that was going to kind of be the theme of today, as we received a message from the hospital. So I just thought I'd come on here and update you about something that's been going on over the last couple of days. Now, I just got off the phone to Kate and my heart is going 100 miles an hour. But basically, a few days ago on Sunday, Teddy woke up in the morning and he was drenched with sweat. And now we've had a lot of hot weather here in the UK, up to like 30 degrees, which he isn't used to. So when he woke up absolutely drenched, we got him out of bed, got him into our bed and gave him a load of water. But he seemed quite lethargic. And then almost minute by minute, he started to come back to life. And then he ate 3 chocolate croissants because that's all he wanted. And then he was absolutely fine. So that was the first sign of something being different than normal. Then over the last couple of days, separately, both myself and Katie had been thinking that he looks kind of washed out, he looks quite pale and his eyes are pretty sunken. And it was only when I touched base with Katie this morning when I got back from work, she said that he had woken up like sweating again. And this would be the second time he's done that, and the temperature is a lot less than it was on Sunday, so it can't be down to the heat. And it was only when we started discussing this that we both said that his eyes are kind of grey round here, eyes are sunken and just looks pale, as I said. And Kate said, look, do you know, I'll be completely honest with you. I put these 2 pictures side by side. The first one is a couple of weeks prior to his diagnosis, and the second one was him like yesterday. And they do look very similar. Now, other than that, he's absolutely fine in himself. His appetite's been slightly off in the morning, but throughout the day, he's drinking loads, he's eating loads. He's got a load of energy. In my eyes, there isn't anything else to worry about. Now, we were waiting for his chimerism results, which is basically, anyone that doesn't know, is his donor percentage. So we need his myeloid count to stay at 100% because he had AML, acute myeloid leukemia. And if the myeloid part of his blood makeup reduces from 100%, there's a very, very high chance that he will relapse because it will mean the cancer will come back and take over his body again. So now we're waiting for these results. And so when we spoke this morning, Katie messaged our oncology nurse at our local hospital saying, look, we've just got a couple of concerns. He's woken up with cold sweats more than once. He looks kind of washed out and the eyes are sunken. And we just want to chase his chimerism just for a bit of peace of mind and to see if anything's going on. Now, his whole blood count has always been around about 99 to 98% for the last 7 months. And the lowest it's been is the 95. And his chimerism has come back at 94%. Now, we would then direct our attention straight to the myeloid count, and if the myeloid is 100%, then it's less to worry about purely because his whole blood count percentage has always fluctuated, which is normal. But because they didn't take enough bloods last time they checked for it, they didn't split the chimerism, and by splitting the chimerism means they look into it further, i.e. they're able to see what the myeloid count is. So where we're at now is we've got the 94% result, but we don't have the percentage of the myeloid count, which is exactly what we need. So Teddy's currently at my sister's with my mum and they've gone out for the day. And I've touched base with them and he seems absolutely fine. But we've basically asked our local hospital to get in contact with our consultant at Great Ormondshire Hospital and see what they want to do to potentially go in and have more bloods taken and a blood film done just to see if he's got a high percentage of white blood cells or anything alarming in his blood, just to check that he hasn't relapsed or there isn't anything to worry about. Now, it's a really hard toss-up between us as parents purely because are we overreacting? Like, is he symptomatic? Apart from his sweats, him looking washed out and this reduction in chimerism, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with him at all. He's eating well, he's drinking well, he's got lots of energy, he's sleeping well. And so everything on that part is all aligned and absolutely fine. But do we as parents put Teddy through the trauma of taking him in to have blood tests done just to check? Or do wait for a couple of days to see if it develops into anything else? It's just a little bit of transparency in what we have to go through as parents. Do we make the call and do that? Or are we overthinking and just panicky parents? Now, we have left the responsibility in the hands of our consultant at Great Ormond Street Hospital. He knows best, he's the professional, and we are going to allow him to call the shots. I think inevitably it's probably the right thing to do, just for peace of mind and for Teddy, just because we don't want to miss anything. Yes, it's going to cause him trauma having to be cannulated and have blood tests taken, but if we miss something and he has relapsed, then this disease can develop, and that is absolutely something we don't want. And also it's just going to lead to endless worries, because we now have blood tests done every 3 months rather than every month. So we could potentially be waiting for the next 3 months, assuming everything's okay, and allowing something to develop. So bit of a worrying signs for us at the minute, guys. We are just going to have to sit tight now and wait for our consultant to get back to us in terms of a plan of action going forward. But it's certainly thrown me off my editing and what I'm currently sitting there doing with my time off whilst Teddy's at my sister's with my mum, and I just feel absolutely sick to the stomach that this could be another scare, or it could be something more sinister. We really don't know, but for now I'm just going to try and keep calm and just wait a phone call from our consultant to tell us what they want to do. But it could be a potential imminent hospital trip pending. Madness. Don't panic, control the controllables and wait to hear. So I've just got off the phone to my mum just to touch base with how Teddy is doing, and he was screaming in the background, singing his heart out, and he was absolutely seems fine.
I'm gonna be on my knees in a misty way where I've never seen a little piece. Quite a little hair. That's way to be king.
So although that is the case, it doesn't stop us thinking about the bottom line, and the bottom line is we need to find out what his myeloid percentage is, because even if he presents really well for the next few days, it still won't mean that his myeloid hasn't dropped. And it has never dropped, by the way, just for record. It has always stayed at 100%. His whole bloods fluctuate, but his myeloid has always stayed at 100%. So I just tried to kind of keep my mind stimulated by carry on editing this video. And as I've said before, the further you get out of transplant, the less you think about relapse, which is an absolute dream come true for us, because 6 to 12 months ago, it was very much a part of our life still. We still thought about it all the time. And if I'm truthful, I don't think about it as much anymore. Whereas all it takes is a situation like this and a scare to suddenly just feel like everything's closing in again, just feel like there's going to be imminent hospital trips. Just, it hurts me to the core of my soul that Teddy may have to go through more checks and pain and discomfort and stuff like that. And it brings back all the old feelings of like not wanting to take him out. And we've done so well over the last sort of 3-4 months of just living a normal life with him and taking him swimming, taking him to amazing farms, taking him on holiday. And we, like I've said in previous videos, our life is returning back to normality now. And it could be nothing, guys, and it really could. And it's so easy for me to sit there and say, don't worry about something until you've got something to worry about, and control the controllables and all the things that I constantly tell myself. But when you are a parent of a child that had cancer, it doesn't ever stop. It doesn't stop the fear of relapse constantly swallowing up your life. And we are in such a good place now, and it would absolutely upend me. It really would. But I'm not going to come on here and babble on. I just want to kind of make sure that, you know, it's all very transparent and clear what we're going through right now. And just need to wait for a phone call. When that phone call comes, who knows? Having spent the last few months just enjoying life, looking forward to our plans in our future, the feelings I was feeling right now really caught me off guard. It took me straight back to my old self in an instant. A person who was scared. Butterflies filled my stomach. I didn't want to eat, drink or move, but I knew I had to combat these feelings, so I chose to leave my editing behind and go on another walk to clear my head and see if I could find some clarity on how I was feeling, and more importantly, find some control in my thoughts and stop them running away from me. Not only was I worried about Teddy and our future, it also brought me straight back down to earth and think about all the other people who are struggling right now. The children that are spending tonight in hospital, the people that are receiving life-changing news, and I couldn't understand why it took us to receive bad news for me to think about these things like this, and I came to the conclusion that it was my own protective mechanism shutting off those thoughts like this due to being those people in hospital for such a long time. Not that I didn't care or have the time to think about them anymore. I think maybe we were just so exhausted of the constant barragement of sad and negative thoughts swamping our life that I must have learnt a way of stopping these thoughts. But I'm glad I went on this walk today, as it's re-grounded me that it's okay to think about those people struggling today, and tomorrow, and the next day. As once upon a time, it was us, and with the news we received, it could be us in the very near future. It's funny how the mind works, but either way, this walk did me good, and I urge anyone else out there that's watching this video, struggling with whatever it may be, a fresh air walk is a true free therapy tool to help reset our mind and help you find clarity on what you're going through. So as a little update, my mind has just been absolutely going round and round in circles all day. I've been on the phone to Kate, just checking in with her, seeing how she's feeling. And yeah, we've heard back from the consultant, and our consultant at Great Ormondshire Hospital has said because he's still presenting well and he's eating well and his fluids are good, and other than the sort of waking up in sweats and his reduction in chimerism, just to see how he goes over the weekend. Obviously, if anything changes, he wants us to go straight to hospital and have bloods done, which need to be couriered to Great Ormondshire Hospital. But he said because of the fact that he has been down at 94% in the past, very early post-transplant, but he has been down there, it could just be a fluctuation. So our plan of attack now is that we just need to monitor him very, very closely and not necessarily stretch him too far, and just follow our gut instinct. If we believe there's anything wrong or any other symptoms start to show, then we will have a very low threshold in taking him straight to hospital and getting those bloods done. Now, how does this sit with me? I think in the depths of my heart, I would potentially risk putting Teddy through the trauma of a cannulation just to get these bloods done for peace of mind. But these professionals and people like our consultant, who we trust so much because he got our boy through transplant, they deal with this on a day-to-day basis and they know best. And so it's times like this where we need to try and suppress the worry that we have as parents and allow the professionals to take over, and that is what we're going to do in this instance. So, but I haven't come on it to waffle. I'm fully aware that this video is been a lot of me talking, so I apologise for that, but obviously I'm just trying to keep you informed. And yeah, but in the meantime, Teddy's been having an absolutely fantastic day with his auntie and his nan. So whilst we've been sat here worrying, Teddy's having a whale of a time. The life of a cancer parent, ladies and gentlemen.
I get your back.
Oh my goodness! Ready, steady.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness! What's happened to your feet?
But with that being said, we will keep you very much closely updated in terms of how he is over the weekend. We've actually got a pretty chilled weekend coming up, which is good because it means that we haven't got any plans. So if we do have to take him to an imminent hospital trip, we have the time to do so. But until then, we just keep monitoring him and keep our fingers so tightly crossed that everything's going to be okay. Teddy came back home after a lovely day spent with his auntie and his nanny, and he was in great spirits, which helped control my worries a bit. But for the rest of the day, we put the camera down and got a good night's sleep as Katie and I felt emotionally drained. Another new morning rolled around and Teddy was straight into, let's just say, simply being Teddy. What are you doing?
Nothing.
I wondered why you'd gone silent, darling. Have you seen your face? Let's come and have a look. She didn't go into Mummy's makeup. That's Mummy's makeup to make her look pretty. It's not painting for Teddy. Should we get it off? We spent our Saturday morning as a family and Teddy carried on being Teddy.
With my friends and yours, Rocky, Dawson, Rocky, Rara, Debbie, Rara, it's the jingly jangly girls, Rara, it's the jingly jangly noise, Rara.
Well done, mate. Whilst Teddy carried on being the cheeky monkey that he was, although him being and looking so well in himself was keeping my worry at bay, I still found I had to keep my mind occupied in times that he wasn't around, like his nap, with things like giving my hedges a good old-fashioned haircut. We spent the rest of the day just at home, not stretching him too far and monitoring him closely, and we just did a lot of home activities like reading and playing with his Wendy house in his room, which of course involved all of his animals taking over.
Oh, what a lovely house you've got here. Can I come in?
Yeah, absolutely can.
Good morning, it is Sunday morning and I'm starting my morning with a tip run and we've had a big clear out and over time I've learned that it's Kate's way of dealing with things when we get situations like this that arise in our life. That obviously we're going through this kind of scare with Teddy right now and she stimulates her mind by cleaning and sorting things out and being a mum and getting life organised, just so if there is imminent hospital trips. And I guess trauma from the past, when Teddy got diagnosed, we left the house completely as it was from our normal day-to-day life, and before you know it, we got shipped off to Great Ormond Street Hospital with the house not organised, the bins not done, the house not clean and all that sort of thing. So Kate's mind kind of goes into a little bit of shock and panic in terms of I want everything to be cleaned just in case we go to hospital, which is absolutely okay and it's her way of dealing with things. So I'm off to the tip to go and get rid of this and yeah, continue on this weight. But so far Teddy's just been doing amazing, so it doesn't stop us worrying. But we think as of tomorrow we are going to be contacting our local hospital and our cancer specialist nurses and basically asked to come in and have bloods done. Although he is presenting well, we have got a big caravan trip coming up in 2 to 3 weeks time, and if we just ignore this drop in chimerism, it is going to lead to underlying panic and worry, and we don't want that. And we will forever regret things and kick ourselves if anything did go wrong and we had the opportunity to check it now and we didn't. So imminent blood tests going to happen to actually understand what is going on with this chimerism, and yeah, then we'll face the music when the results come in. But for now, I'm off to the tip. There's always a queue at the tip on a Sunday morning, everyone getting rid of their rubbish. There's something else to touch on whilst I wait in this ginormous queue is whatever is going on with his chimerism, which has caused this significant drop, currently isn't affecting him. Now I hope I'm not tempting fate, but all we can act as parents is off how he is presenting currently. Even more reason to put this worry to bed by having blood tests done and actually gaining that sort of clarity in terms of what his myeloid percentage is. If that still is 100%, then it will kind of put our mind at rest and just know and hope that it is just a fluctuation that will return back up in a few months and not a steady downhill trajectory. Because if it does continue to go down, then there is a high possibility that relapse is on the cards. If it hasn't happened now, then it potentially will happen in the future, because obviously what it will mean is Teddy's donor cells are going down and Teddy's original cells are going up, and Teddy's original cells are the ones that were malignant and had cancer in. So that is kind of our situation now. We need these results to kind of find a little bit more clarity in this situation. So as of tomorrow, Monday, we're going to be contacting the hospital and start this ball rolling in terms of finding out what is going wrong, and just hope that Teddy stays well in the meantime. That's a good time to end that video there. Don't forget to come back for our next video on Wednesday, when we head back into hospital to have all of his blood tests redone, and then we have the dreaded wait for all of the results into what is going on with our little superhero of a son's donor cells. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. A huge thank you to our Life with the British family members, and remember, live for today, as tomorrow is never promised. And a special thank you to everyone that has donated to our up and coming charity event, and all you amazing people that have bought some of our merchandise. If you are interested in either donating or buying some of our merchandise, please head to the description below where both of our links are there. We'll catch you in the next one, chaps.